broskies, it's Sona. Today I'm drawing classic cartoons if they were
terrifying.
I'm ruining my childhood, so you better like the video. Let's go. First up is Strawberry Shortcake. Strawberry Shortcake is one of my all-time favorite shows I watched as a kid. There's many versions, and I watched the 2003 series that looked like this. Her outfit is iconic. Okay, on a real note, every version is fine up until the god-awful 2021. What did they do to my girl? But yeah, the concept of the show is fairly simple. Strawberry and her friends learn cool lessons and go on adventures in Strawberry Land. My personal favorite episode is the one with the chocolate waterfall that I can't remember the name of. There was some scenes that were actually really funny to look back on. Like the episode where the annoying talking horse broke her leg. There's so many characters in this show that I love because all of their designs and concepts are so cool. Also, before recording this video, I rewatched the theme song and it's been stuck in my head for days now. I was just blasted with this huge wave of nostalgia. I know a lot of you broskies watching this video are definitely younger than me, as I am 21 years old, but if I had to recommend an old cartoon to give a watch, Strawberry Shortcake 2003 would definitely be one of my first picks. This is a random thought, but why is where they live called Strawberry Land? The only strawberry person is Strawberry Shortcake. Her sister isn't even a strawberry. She's an apple. Everyone else is different fruits and foods. Does this mean Strawberry Shortcake is the official ruler and everyone must follow and praise her? Just a thought. That could have been another wacky concept. The dictatorship of Strawberry Shortcake. Okay, I'll stop. If you broskies watched this show, comment your favorite character below. Mine is Ginger Snap. Anyways, I'm basing my drawing off of the original 1980s version, which I love. This version was originally used as various artworks for greeting cards and later turned into dolls. Her design is absolutely adorable. The old style has such a nice charm, and oddly enough, perfect for my horror concept. In my world where Strawberry Shortcake is terrifying, I imagine her to be a doll who bakes strawberry-themed sweets. In Strawberry Land, the berry people are very small, much smaller than real humans. When Strawberry Land was found by humans, the humans picked and ate the tiny berry people, as they are very sweet-tasting. Because of this, many of Strawberry Shortcake's friends and family were eaten. Loathing the humans, she bakes poisonous cookies giving them to the humans and killing them. Once dead, she harvests their bodies and uses them to bake her new special cookie recipe. You can probably guess what those cookies are made of. As you can see, being so sweet has its consequences. In my drawing of Strawberry, I gave her these creepy, beady doll eyes, followed by her head shape being more pointed and defined. Of course, her face is very round like in the original, but I emphasize that a lot in mine as she has a mouthful of her quote-unquote secret recipe as blood drips from her mouth. It looks pretty gross, but that's what I was going for. Mostly kept her outfit the same and made her hair into these worm-like creatures with spiky teeth. They're her pets now and they really like her cookies. Her body is a bit more scrunched together and her neck is twisted. And yes, I referenced the original art you see in the corner. I think having her face the camera completely straight just ups the creepy factor. Would you like some cookies? You know what isn't scary though? My cute Space Bunny shirt that you can go check out at my shop, as well as other cool stuff. Link in description if you want to support me through this insanity. Next up is the PowerPuff Girls. This is one of my all-time favorite cartoons I watched as a kid. Yes, I was a Bubbles girl. She's best girl, I will die on this hill. The PowerPuff Girls were created in a scientist professor's lab in his attempt to make the perfect little girl, using sugar, spice, and everything nice. However, he accidentally spilled chemical X into the batch, which is bad, giving the girls superpowers, thus being named the PowerPuff Girls. Throughout the show, they fight enemies and criminals, protecting Townsville. Yes, it's literally called Townsville. I don't know, that was funny to me. My fondest memory of Powerpuff Girls was actually the movie. I was obsessed as a kid. I know this goes for a lot of old cartoons, but I really adore their art style and I find it super unique, especially their golf ball eyes. Unfortunately, this classic has also fallen into a terrible reboot that has some questionable scenes and overall looks bad, but at least the anime is cute. Now, out of all of the art in this video, I gotta say this one is my most disturbing. My concept for the Powerpuff Girls being terrifying is that while the professor was creating the girls, when he spilled in the chemical X by accident, the result was much worse than he could have ever imagined. What was born weren't three adorable girls with superpowers. Instead came out this grotesque, terrifying lump piled together with different body parts as well as some spillage, all while wearing the mask of three little girls, if you can even call them that at this point. I felt so freaked out while drawing this. I didn't know I could create something like this, okay? I'm sorry. No, actually, I'm more sorry to myself because I just ruined my childhood. Anyways, yeah, I just made this as disturbing as I could. Actually, no, that's a lie. It was gonna be even more graphic, but while I was drawing this, I realized, oh wait, younger people are gonna be watching this. Maybe maybe this is a bit too much, so you're welcome. Even now though, I still think maybe I went a bit too heavy on the grotesque factor, but what's done is done. All of the Powerpuff Girls are connected by this stretched lump of skin. I also put crooked little fingers on their hands despite the Powerpuff Girls not even having fingers in the first place, cause I know in the show they aren't like other people. Other kids look normal while they look not normal. The professor's original idea was to create the perfect little girl, and he probably wasn't planning on them looking like the way they do in the show. But obviously that's where the Chemical X came into play and changed them completely. But in reality though, I think we can all agree it makes more sense for them to have came out even more messed up and more bad rather than good, considering the entire thing of Chemical X spilled into the bowl. And it has a skull on it, so obviously that means it's really bad. In the pile of spilled ketchup on the side, I put some rainbow glitters and sprinkles. After all, they're made of sugar, spice, and everything nice, so I gotta add something that's good, right? Lastly, I added Bubbles' plushie Octi into the pile. He's just vibing. Here is my Powerpuff abomination. For the final drawing, I'm doing Courage the Cowardly Dog. This is one of those cartoons that was pretty well known, but I didn't hear much talk about it growing up. Regardless, I loved this show, and it had this type of weird uniqueness to it. This cartoon is about a pink dog named Courage, who has a lot of paranoia and is really afraid of, like, everything. Courage lives on a farm with an old couple, in which one of them does not treat him very good. The old lady is nice though. Throughout the show, Courage must suck up his fears in order to save his owners from weird monsters and entities who wreak havoc on the farm. All the while, most of the time, the old couple has zero clue what's going on. I remember liking this show as a kid, and looking back on it as an adult, as much as I love it, it was pretty dark. Mainly the way the old man treats the dog. He often scares him and overall does not deserve to be around animals, clearly. Some of the stuff in this show would definitely not happen in newer cartoons, cause it's a bit much. Rewatching some of it makes me feel really bad for Courage, and you can tell he is really timid and fearful of everything, which the old man is part of the problem. Overall, the show is still very entertaining and definitely does a good job at keeping me on edge, wondering what's gonna happen next. One of my favorite things about this show is how expressive and exaggerated Courage is. Whenever he wants to tell his owners something, he literally shapeshifts into anything he wants. And when he screams, he looks crazy. Since he shapeshifts, couldn't he use his powers to easily defeat the monsters? Just a thought. Despite how fearful Courage is of everything, he is very determined to protect his family. I know the show is called Courage the Cowardly Dog, but when you think about it, the title completely contradicts the show. Sure, he screams and gets spooked, but if he was truly a coward, Courage wouldn't constantly put himself in harm's way in order to protect the ones that he cares about. He goes through some pretty crazy stuff to save them. Courage means to face your fears. However, the definition of coward is the lack of courage. I thought the play on words was pretty cool. It's something I never thought about until now. I feel another reason why he's called cowardly is because the old man and people in general may perceive him that way at first, but he's a really good character. Anyways, I'll stop rambling. So Courage's design does stick out to me, his main features being how big his head is and how dramatic he looks when he screams. Like, look at his head compared to his body. That's huge. That's where I got my idea for this drawing. In my version of Courage, if he was terrifying, his head and jaw are so big that his body could not support the weight of them, causing his back to be broken and his head fall into the floor. His jaw is literally bigger than every part of his body when he screams, so I emphasize that with my design. His eyeballs also tend to look wacky, so I made his eye kind of look like a sausage, and then the other one fell out. Courage has some crazy looking teeth, so of course I made them look even crazier, along with some spiky ones thrown in there, since he is unable to close his mouth due to it being so abnormally large. His tongue is hanging out of his mouth, lying on the floor. And on his broken back, I put a little bone sticking out and wanted his body to overall look weak and frail. I'm sorry. Here is Courage the dog creature thing. I'm not sure if you can call this a dog. Thanks broskies so much for watching. What was your favorite drawing I made? Let me know in the comments. Also let me know what you want to see next. And if we hit 20k likes, I'll definitely do a part 2. Be sure to check out my merch shop if you want a cute bunny shirt or a cool poster. Bye!